If this box of ammunition looks ominous, David the Marine,
Let me see your war face.
that's because it is.
Military surplus ammo with a history behind it. Military surplus ammo packaging has always fascinated me. This has a cloth. You know, you can't, if you're too stupid to open that by that, you can pull on it. Revealing in here 3 stripper clips full of 6.5 Carcano cartridges.
If memory serves me correct, there's a dubious history attached to that caliber and round.
The 6.5 Carcano was used to kill President Kennedy back in 1963.
What is the appeal of this round?
Minimal. They're hard to find and they're expensive when you do. As you can see, it's a long, slender cartridge, or bullet, I mean, that in the military they like to
They like to crimp that.
really make sure that ain't gonna come out.
Yeah.
It's just an odd cartridge. It's not the most aerodynamic, and the gun that fires it is not known for its accuracy or smooth operation.
And that gun would be?
The Italian 6.5 Carcano rifle. 10-block clip. It feeds in from the top. After the 6th shot, the clip falls through the bottom. You see the hole there. And you might wonder what this is.
Ah,
Now what you do with this is you stab them and then shoot them.
okay.
Because that way you know you're going to hit them.
You notice David used the proper nomenclature of clip. This is a clip.
Not a magazine. A clip is a piece of metal that holds cartridges together. That's it. A magazine has a spring and a follower
To feed the ammunition through the proper chamber so that it can be fired. If you're an aficionado, maybe you've seen the famous newspaper clipping that was allegedly used by Lee Harvey Oswald when he bought his weapon. That said, why did Lee Harvey Oswald pick this particular rifle and caliber?
Good question. I think, since we can't ask him, I think because it was the cheapest available. There was an M1 carbine, I believe, for around $79 on the same ad. There was a Springfield 03A3 30-06 in the same ad, I believe, for $49. Whereas this with sights, the iron sights, was $12.95. But these sights suck. They are horrible sights. So he coughed up a little extra money to get the scope for $19.95. And that's why he picked it, I think, just a matter of economy.
I understand Lee Harvey Oswald went through countless hours of dry fire practice.
He had a big task in mind, so he needed to get that motion to be automatic. And a lot of people say that it is not smooth. It's not. But if you do it like you mean it, with this rifle anyway, I have no problem working that bolt. Load it, open the bolt, push in from the top, press till it clicks, off you go.
A soldier, about 40 yards away. Demand.
I think I'll take that.
But the purists watching this video would say it looks a little low.
Well, these are my first 3 shots out of this rifle, and we need to talk about the sights. Closer shots, you have to get that front sight deeper into that V. How deep? I don't know. You have to kind of guess and see what's going to work. And now I know at this distance, I need to hold a little bit more front. This rear sight has a deep V. If you put the front sight even with that V, that is your 200-yard zero.
Let's have a little fun. Oswald got off 3 shots, 8 seconds.
6 to 8 seconds. There's differing views on that, but that's the time starts at the first shot. So it's really 2 shots in the 6 to 8 seconds on target. So he had a scope, and I got crappy sights.
Snipers ready? Stand by. 7.06.
Minus the time for a shot gives overall time 6.28. So the rifle can make those shots in that time frame.
And you hadn't been dry fire practicing like Oswald. You hadn't been psyching yourself up like Oswald.
No, the second 3 shots out of this rifle there.
Yeah. You must have got him.
He's down. I must say I'm surprised and impressed. What do you think of those?
That bolt is really chunky. There were better guns on that advertiser that I would have gone with.
Like any of them.
Yeah.
Lee, I don't think you got him. He's still standing.
Maybe. Well, now I'm not disappointed with the group. There's some drop to it that I would have to get used to.
Well, it's not the drop.
Uh-huh.
It's how much front sight you put in that
V. Yep.
Which that's going to be
all the difference.
And you got to range to figure out how much front sight to do.
As we pass around the coffee and the pumpkin pie.
Lee, I must commend you on outperforming the self-proclaimed gun expert, Jesse Ventura, who after 10 seconds of practice determined those shots could not be made in that time frame with this rifle. And we proved that is simply not true.
Well, one thing I did find was it was very easy to keep the bead where it needed to be when I was working the bolt. Now, I had a little trouble with the bolt because I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
But Lee Harvey Oswald practiced and practiced and practiced
Hours
and practiced.
and hours, yep.
So it's easy to believe that he was able to keep his bead where it needed to be while he did what he had to do.
Right, it does not have much kick. And
No.
I was pleasantly surprised first time I shot, like, hey, that's not so bad.
There's a lot of powder behind that round.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the infamous magic bullet theory. One of the Carcano rounds was found on the gurney sitting right next to the president's body when it was wheeled into the emergency room at
Right.
Parkland Hospital.
Right.
The question was, where did it come from? And the answer is very simple. This also solves the magic bullet theory about how the bullet struck Kennedy in the neck and then traveled through and hit Governor Conley in the left shoulder. Conley was sitting in the jump seat, which was down and to the right of the president, so it came right through the president, hit Conley, and then the bullet came to rest on the floorboard of the limousine in the front seat. I had the opportunity to interview Clint Hill, one of the bodyguards on duty that day, who found the bullet when they were removing the president's body. He picked it up, put it on the gurney because he figured somebody's going to need to see this.
They might need this later.
And do you know, nobody in the Warren Commission bothered to interview him or any of the other Secret Service agents.
It's almost like they didn't want to know.
A museum piece, something you want to have in your collection because of the notoriety. But I don't know that you'd want to use this for home defense.
Maybe not, but if you got the cavalry model, which this is with the bayonet, if you don't want to wake the kids.
Yeah. Bang.
Yeah.
When it absolutely positively has to be destroyed.
Double hot buck does the job.
Smells better than pumpkin pie. And as always,
Guns for everybody.
And as always,
Guns for everybody.